Wait, hold on. Let me get my notes up just in case. I just like to have them with me. Okay, if my boob pops out though, like John Moss, like you're looking at me, so.
I mean, there's nothing we can do. Oh, put it back in.
No, I mean like, bro, if I start talking, I get all wily. Like I don't want, you know what I mean?
Just do like a titty alert. Titty. Mm-hmm. Janet.
Not the yeah, you'd be like Janet Jackson. Code word Janet Jackson.
Code word
Janet Jackson. We have to put this on podcast.
JJ.
We're just talking and vibing. Okay. All right. Well, I'm ready when you are.
Yes, I'm ready. All right.
And we will find a way to move on. 'Cause if it's meant to be, then it'll be a love song. Hey, it's Gabby Fe. Welcome back to my podcast. You might have seen my viral TikTok videos posted on The Shade Room, Real Toronto News, talking about my high dating standards, other news plays, etc., etc. Today's episode, we have a special guest, Jonmosslol. I'm so excited that he's here today. So let's get into it.
Hiya.
Jonmosslol, how is everything? How are you? How have you been?
I've been pretty good. I've been doing good. I've been working, pretty much putting everything together, working on my album, working on content, working on making sure my family's straight. We're doing pretty good.
Oh, good. John Moss has been such an inspiration to me. If you guys don't know who he is, he literally has such a great story that I'll let him get deeper into, but he has a total rags to riches story. John Moss is like a resilient person. His music is so bomb. He went from like homeless to living such living his dream pretty much. And I'm so proud of him. So John Moss, can you give us a little bit of backstory, like who you are, where you came from, how you got here, all of the things?
Okay. My name is Jonathan Moss. I got here by pretty much being myself. You know what I'm saying? Every time I went somewhere or did anything, I would just throw my personality in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, how did you get to LA? Where are you from? LA?
Okay. So I'm not from LA. I'm actually from Roberta, Georgia. It's this super small country town. It's in the middle of Georgia, so it's like a middle Georgia town. And then growing up, I went into the military. After that, I went to prison for like 2.5 years. Then I became a deputy sheriff. And after that, I became a truck driver. From truck driving, I drove around the country and then got done with my trucking job and got a car. And then once I got into the car, I got into a car accident in LA. And then I got stuck. So I've just been here ever since the car accident.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, so you got into a car accident as a truck driver?
No. Okay. I got into a car accident while I was living inside of my car.
So then what did you do after? Did you total the car, or was it?
The car was totaled. The car was totaled. What we had to do was we pretty much moved the car from where it was wrecked at, and I had nowhere for it to go. So I just took it to a park in a zoo, and we just, you know what I'm saying, put it out. And I just lived right there in the zoo park until the police came and was like, hey, this car can't be here. So then I just like, oh, I can't move it. And then they got somebody to tow it, so I lost my house then, you know what I'm saying?
So what'd you do?
Pretty much I walked around until I met somebody on social media, and they were like, hey, I have a place that you can stay. It's going to be $800 a month, though. Can you afford that? I legit had $912. And I was like, I can. And then it was the rat race of trying to make $800 every month.
Wow. So that's like so brave. Like I'm always inspired by like people who like come to a big city like LA, especially when you're from a small town, and like you just come here and you're literally have nowhere to stay. You have just enough for 1 month's rent. I'm sure you were terrified thinking that you might not even have enough to like go on. So like after that month, like I obviously worked out, but like what happened? Like how did you?
Literally within that same month, I had got a brand deal from the app that I was using, right? They had sent me some money, and then I put almost all the money, with the exception of $1,000, inside of the Tesla stock. It was about $1,000, so I had like $200 after the $800 came out, and I was eating good. I'm talking about, oh my gosh. Like it was the first time I seen like that much money from being homeless. So I was like, $200, I can literally eat whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing that I did was I went to McDonald's and I bought 2 things of 10-piece chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
I was going to get a 20-piece, but if you get 2 10-pieces, there's a chance you could get 22 pieces because they could accidentally put 11 inside of the 10-piece. If you get the 20-piece, they could only accidentally put 1 more. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted that extra nugget. I was really out there fighting for my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then you're in this place. You started getting some money. So now you're like, okay, I got a groove going on here. What happened after that? How long did you stay in this place? What was your next move?
So I pretty much stayed inside of LA for, I want to say, another 2 months. And then I got one more brand deal. And back then I used to think $2,000 was a lot of money. So right when I had that, I flew home and I was like, Mom, I have some money for us. And she was like, oh, you made it? And I was like, yeah. And I gave her like $1,500. And she looked at me and was like, yeah, I got something bad to tell you. You know what I'm saying? So then from then on, I had left my home again. There was a lady that was in Alabama and she was like, I really need somebody to help me clean up my house because I'm moving. And I was like, I'll help you. I just, you know what I'm saying, don't have a way to get there. Right. So my cousin drove me from Georgia to Tennessee, and then the lady came and picked me up from there, and then I went back off on another journey.
Wow. That is amazing. I have a similar experience for me. Like, I came here years ago to LA. I just graduated college. I wanted to be like the starving artist. I was pre-law, supposed to go to law school. But my parents are Caribbean, so they're just like, doctor, engineer, or lawyer. Like, those are your options. You can't just like, do that. So I'm like, I gotta follow my dreams. So after I graduated, went to LA, I was like pretty much homeless, couch surfing, going everywhere, trying to figure it all out together. And then it didn't work out. I had to like go back home. Right. And then, I worked at like a restaurant job for like a year, saved up.
What did you do at the restaurant? What restaurant?
Oh, it was Margaritaville in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, yes. You a country girl from Nashville?
I've never listened to a country song in my life until I moved to Nashville.
Baby, your song, you make me want to roll my window down and cruise. Yeah, I see you.
So, okay, literally, I like hated like country music before I moved to Nashville because in Nashville, it's like country music capital. And they have like 5 radio stations. 4 of them are country. One of them is like pop, hip hop. And so I know I was working at this restaurant. Every Friday and Saturday night, they would play all the country hits. So when you're listening to the song over and over again every Friday and Saturday night, you're just like, oh, this is a bop. Like, this is actually good.
They're good, yeah.
Yeah. So then I started doing that. And then I got like my big break. I got my first acting agent in Nashville, and it was because they literally told me that they signed me because I was the only person in Nashville who didn't talk like this with a country accent. And I was like, what? Like, I was so like, because I've never lived in a place like that. And I'm just like, I was so confused. I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, everybody has the same accent. And like, when you watch TV, like people have like that, like a certain accent for TV, like California accent, unless they're doing a country show or whatever, where they would have a different accent. So I was like, well, get in where you fit in. So I like was in this agency my first time, like being like working with an agent. Ooh. And they literally, my first job was in the middle of a snowstorm. Nobody wanted to drive to the casting. And I was like, this is it. I got to do it. So like, they're like, it might be slippery, black ice. Your safety matters. I'm like, my safety, I need to book this job.
I'm about to get this one. This is mine right here.
I was like,
I'm going in. Basement.
Literally. And so I was like, I'm gonna go. I went, I booked it, and I was like my first like plus size modeling job. And then I did a string of really bad and corny car commercials. Like, the like, oh, if you got into an accident, call it 1-800-so-and-so. And I did those like every weekend. It was like $100 a pop. I just like had like a regular gig going. And I was like, okay, I think I could do better. Mm-hmm. So then I went.
That's still pretty good though.
I mean,
I would have killed for $100 a week. No, dead ass. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I know, but like you can't really live and eat with $100. Like, thank God.
You can pick one.
so I can eat and then like live under a bridge, or you can't even live with 100. Anyways, so I was like, I did that, and then I went to, what was it? Okay, so after that, it was like around my birthday, and then my older brother, who never gives me a birthday present, he was like, isn't your birthday like coming up or whatever? I was like, yeah. He's like, what do you want? I don't know why I said this. I was like, I want a round trip ticket to New York City, because I'd never been to New York. I just want to try it or whatever. And he's like, okay, cool. I got your ticket. I'm like, what? You're going to give me, like, you're going to buy a ticket for me? And so my mom was like, okay, well, I'll just get you your Airbnb, and there you go. It's like a birthday trip. And I was like, okay.
Ooh.
Yes. So I've never been to New York City at that time, even though my parents like met in Brooklyn. They're from New York, whatever. But I like was born in Jersey. I grew up in Orlando. So I was in New York for like the first time. And I'm just like, everything that could go right for me went right. It was like the stars aligned. Like I was meant to be there. It was so different from when I went to LA.
Nashville. Oh.
Well, Nashville was like a bridge. It was like a bridge. It was like a really great starting point. So like, I had an acting coach tell me one time,
Wait, so you're really good at acting?
I feel like I'm good at the arts. I'm good at everything art-wise. So like singing, acting,
Painting, poetry.
Oh no, I can't. I'm not really great at painting or drawing. So performing arts.
Okay. So poetry.
I play guitar.
No.
Do I do spoken word?
No,
I don't know. Maybe sometimes. I'd rather sing than do spoken word.
Opera.
Not opera.
No. Okay.
John Moss.
I'm just
saying, like, that's what I love to do, and that's what people tell me I'm good at. Okay,
but.
That's what I do. So like, where was I? So I was in New York, and when I tell you the stars aligned, like I found money on the floor.
That's my favorite. Like, I see you there. Who you on to? When it's not linked to a string, oh my gosh.
No, you know the craziest story. Let me tell you about how I found this money.
Go for it.
So I walk into like this like Brooklyn shop or whatever. I'm just like getting a couple of things. It was cold. I didn't know how cold it was in New York. It's cold, guys. So I got this like little puffer jacket or whatever, and this like sweet older black woman was like, hey, like, I can't afford this. Can you get this for me? And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Like, I didn't think it was a big deal.
The puffer jacket?
No, she like got some leggings and a tank top. It was like just a couple things. She's like, I don't have enough money. Can you get this for me? I was like, yeah, sure. Not a big deal. So the cashier, though, she's like, doesn't want to ring it up. She doesn't want to sell me the clothes. And I'm like,
why?
Exactly. And I was
I'm
like,
paying for it.
Exactly.
I got money.
And she's like, this lady's in here every day trying to hustle people to buy her clothes. Like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to help her out. You don't need to buy her clothes. She's always in here trying to get people to buy stuff for her. And I was like, but it's my money. Can I spend it how I want to?
It's my money and I'll spend it now.
Yeah. I was like, bro, like, I don't care. Like, let me just buy, the stuff. So I buy the stuff, and the lady's like, thank you, whatever. Didn't think of it again. This is how good God is. And
the lady was secretly a millionaire, and she gave you a whole bunch of money.
Hey, I'm waiting for that day. Day.
Okay.
But I go next door to like get something to eat. And I'm just like, I order my food. I'm sitting down by the window just watching as I like watching the street as I eat. And I see the lady, and she like changed into the clothes I bought her. She's wearing the clothes. And then she walks and she waves to me. I was like, oh, hey. And I waved to her. Right after that moment, I go into the bathroom and I find a wad full of cash. Like a wad full of cash, this thick. No name, no identification.
That is pretty thick. Do it again. Let me see.
This thick.
That is thick. That's a thick wad of
Literally,
cash.
no identifiers.
If I had some money, it didn't matter what type of bill it was. I could have a bunch of ones this thick. It's pretty nice.
Literally.
I'm like, I would rather it be like, 20s, 50s, and 100s, but.
So then where was I? Okay. So I see the thick wad full of cash, and I'm like, God, like, did this fall from heaven? Like, no, honestly, I really feel like it was like a drug bust. Like somebody didn't want to get caught with this like drug money or blood money, and they chuck it. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
The craziest thing, right, is being that you saw the lady pass, the older lady pass. There's a good chance she was just in there, and when she went to change her leggings, that wad of cash fell out of the pants she had on before she put on the leggings.
I just happened to get it.
And you just happened upon it. Like, oh, look at me. Thank you so much. You're like, hey, here's it.
Hey, however I was blessed.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
like
that's a
I
good
was,
time though.
you know. So, and then I met this lady who was like a runway like a superstar, but the plus size bald headed black woman, and she
You had to specify she was bald.
Yes,
That's
because
a-
she's
that's
known
a-
for it.
oh.
Like, she's known for being bald. Like
Oh.
she's like the bald headed like.
What's your name?
Her name is Sharon Quinn, the runway diva. I love you, Miss Sharon. She's amazing.
She loves you, Miss Sharon.
And then I met her, and she taught me how to runway walk. Like she like worked with me. And I'd never modeled before. I'd never done anything. I never wanted to be a model. I never saw myself as a model because people like when I was growing up, they'd be like, "Oh, you know, you're so pretty. You could be a model if you lost 100 pounds." And like you know, they would say that all the time. Like, you're really pretty. If you just lost like 70, 100 pounds, you'd be a model.
You said 700-800 pounds. God
70 to 800
damn.
pounds.
Oh, okay. I was like, how big was you as a kid? Like, you was fucking it up. Like, I wasn't even trying to be
smaller than
rude.
I am now.
Yeah, that's good. That's
You
good.
know,
But I wasn't even trying to be
so-
rude. I was just like, that's crazy. Like, I've heard of My 600 Life. Have you seen My 600-Pound Family?
Yes, and my 600-pound life, the sisters, they be rocking bikinis to the beach. They don't
Yeah,
give, you
they
know
need
what
to
I mean? They be
enjoy
working-
themselves,
They be
live their
working it.
lives.
Right. So I was so yeah, like I was doing that, whatever, and she from that, because she met me and she like worked with me, she kept me in mind and invited me to her casting for New York Fashion Week because she was doing a show.
Yes.
So like when I say everything happened like how it was supposed to happen, it was just so crazy how that happened. And the next thing, like the stars were aligned. The next thing, I go back to the Airbnb, I check my email after like having the whole crazy day with that lady, and the email, I get a random TJ Maxx commercial, like, oh, here's an audition for TJ Maxx. But it was one of those cattle calls. I'm like, oh, probably 1 million people, applied for this. I don't even think it's real.
Right.
And so they asked me, like, they had to fill out a questionnaire. It was like 20 questions. And one of the first questions was, where do you live? At the time, I was living in Nashville, but I happened to be in New York. So I was just like, I'm going to put New York. I don't know where they are. I'm just going to put New York because I'm here. After I filled it out, 20 minutes later, they called me and they said, we're in New York. You're in New York. Do you want to come in for an in-person audition? I said, yeah. So never taken the subway before. I like put on my big hat, my coat because it was cold, figured out the subway system, got to the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Okay.
I walk in and she says, okay, we're just going to take a video of you. You can just talk to yourself. I'll ask you a couple questions. So they just asked me a couple questions. I just start talking about who I am as a person. Like,
You love
just my
doing
life.
that.
Do I?
A little bit.
What are you trying to say, John Moss?
You're the type of person that would have a podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So anyways, I do that. And then she's like, okay, well, good luck. And I was like, okay. I go back to Nashville. I get a call back, another call back, another call back. I book it. And then they send a driver to my house.
From New York to Nashville.
Well, they hired a driver in Nashville
Okay.
to come to my house,
To drive to New York.
to drive to the airport so that I could fly to
And then you had
LA.
another driver in LA.
In LA.
Oh my God.
It was fancy.
Yeah.
It was fancy. My dad's like, who's this man in front of my house with the tinted windows? And I was
Daddy.
like, that's my ride.
I done did it. It's my time to
So
shine.
yeah, I booked the commercial. I did the TJ Maxx commercial. It played globally everywhere. That's how people like started recognizing me. And I moved to New York, signed with 2 modeling agencies, walked in New York Fashion Week, and the rest is history. I've been
The
doing that since
rest
then.
is history. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Dang, are you proud of yourself?
I'm very proud of myself.
Yes. You should look at every single step that you have made as an accomplishment. Each and every day you wake up, that's another day to do one more amazing thing, because you started from Nashville, being on the radio, doing car commercials, and now you're a model in Hollywood, California. Like, how do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, because it's
I
like,
feel really grateful.
yeah, that's a lot of years, like, to go from one thing to another. Like, how many years has it been?
7.
Oh, so you've been at this for a minute. The
Yeah.
consistency is wild.
Yeah.
You proud of yourself? What do you think is like the number one thing you would tell to younger models coming into the space? Plus size models. Let's like, you know what I'm saying? Younger models in general. Let's go universally.
Don't listen to people when they tell you need to lose 100 pounds to be a model. That's not true. Like, do what makes you happy, do what you love, and don't worry about other people's opinions, because as soon as you start listening to other people's opinions, that's what keeps you down. And that's one thing that I never did. That was one thing I had since I was like a little girl. I just didn't listen to people. People told me I couldn't do. Yes, very hard-headed, stubborn. People told me I couldn't do all the things that I'm doing now. They're like, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. Just like, it's a shot in the dark. Get a real job. Like, what are you doing?
No.
You know, and
they shouldn't tell you that. Nah, because you're doing phenomenally. What is it? You're independent. You're beautiful. You know what I'm saying, made it on your own. You got, 2 places now? In 2 of the richest cities in the world?
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on now.
Good.
Can we get a small round of applause?
Hey, God is good. He blessed me.
Yes.
So.
Question.
Okay.
If you had to choose between going invisible or flying, which one would you pick?
Flying.
Ew. Anyway, what's the rest of the stuff? What we doing?
What would you
That's too
pick?
late. It's too late.
Why?
How
am I going to answer something? So I'm guessing you would pick the other, which is being invisible. I just feel like being invisible, you're
I wouldn't
still
do that
grounded.
either. I wouldn't pick either. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, I sustained from the question in general.
Well, why would you ask a question you're going to abstain from?
I mean, let's see if you would answer it. But now I know where you stand.
Duh. Why wouldn't you want to fly? I would want to fly.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It depends on how fast you're going, how high you can get. You got to have jackets. It's cold as hell up there. Like, there's so much that goes into that.
I would rather wear layers and warmers and go. Because I'm going to be like, I don't know. I love the snow. Like, I'm going to be in the mountains next week.
Holy smokes. Yeah, think about that, though. Because, like, you're flying after a certain, like, height. The thing goes down, and then, like, you may know how to go up, but how do you get back down? Like, you know what I'm saying?
If I know how to go up, I know how to go down.
Like,
you can't just know how to go up.
I know, but you just started going up. So, like, the first thing you're going to do is just fly in the mountains. Like, you're gone. That's it. You're going to hit something.
That, like, I'm not afraid of height.
Okay.
Sorry. I mean, I guess sometimes I don't like ladders because I don't know if it's going to buckle underneath me.
It's not going to. I'm pretty sure the ladder can hold you.
Okay. So, anyways, what I wanted to ask you next is, tell me about, a lot of what I talk about on this podcast is relationships.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
No,
okay,
you
so
just told me.
A lot of things I talk about is relationships, my high dating standards.
Ooh.
And okay, a little secret between John Moss and I, we dated.
What? Explain that. What you mean? We went on a date. Okay. So we went on a date. Yeah, no. There's a big difference.
Well, anyways, it didn't work out. We're friends.
We went on a date.
It didn't work out. We're friends.
I mean, like,
yeah. So we're friends, and I wanted to talk to you about like your past relationships. Can you give me like an example of like, a relationship that wasn't serving its purpose for you, it wasn't good for you, and you needed to get out of it?
Yes. I have a bunch of those type of relationships. Shoot. When I was in high school, there was this girl that I dated from another town, and what I would do is I would plan like special dates for us to go on like special picnics because I didn't have a lot of money and I was in high school.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying, I would make different sandwiches and we'd go to the park or we'd go to like hikes or like different trails in the woods. There was this big river that was outside, but she ended up dying.
Why?
So,
How?
Yeah.
Dying?
Yeah.
How did she die?
Bad way.
Okay, carry on. So the next relationship, like, tell me something good.
Well, I had this, I think the very next relationship after that, I was are we going like in order of relationships?
No, I want to hear, okay, so obviously I have to direct this a little more. I know John Moss's business, and he doesn't mind sharing his business with you all, and that's why we're here. So, John Moss, you told me a crazy story about a girl that you dated while you were working in prison as the deputy sheriff.
Okay.
And we would like to know how that went down.
Oh, man. It pretty much went down with like me getting hired into the prison, and I saw this lady that I thought was pretty. So I was like, hey, how are you doing? Would you want to go on some dates? And she said yes. And we went on a couple of dates, and it was pretty nice. And then it got to the point where I was actively taking care of, like, with her and her kid. It was, like, really, really nice. No, for real, though. I got her kid, like, a PS4. It was really cute.
So you were a good stepdaddy.
I felt like that. Yeah, it was really good. It all took a turn, though, when she got taken out of the prison for having sex with an inmate. Yeah, that really hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
How do you feel about dating women with children?
I think it's nice. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're able to do it. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, because you're not just trying to connect with one person. You're connecting with multiple people, especially when you find out about the kid, or if the kid is even found out about. Because like usually I would say in the first 2 months of dating, you shouldn't introduce people to your kids. You know what I'm saying? You should let them know they exist. But for the sake of the kid, you shouldn't have people coming in and out, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when dating, what qualities do you look for in a woman?
Consistency, effort. I really like a woman that can sit down and knows how to get her point across without being extremely extra. You know what I'm saying?
What's extremely? Give me an example of extremely extra.
Like if she's mad at me, she's not going to key my car and pop all my tires.
Well, okay, that's
Extremely
criminal.
extra.
So if she's not criminal, crazy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like, okay, all right. But that's like, I asked what qualities you look for, and that's like
I said
qualities
them.
you don't look for.
No, I said qualities I did look for.
Yeah, but then you switched and said, "Oh, well, if she's not extra and keying your cars, whatever."
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's the quality.
So what else do you
saying?
look
Not
for?
doing that.
What else do you look for?
I look for time, patience. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm gonna take a lot of patience to be with. I'm a very loving person, so I want somebody that's also just as loving. But yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. Tell me about when you came to Hollywood and you started dating out here. What was that like?
So when I came to Hollywood, I was just getting off of being homelessness, so I wasn't dating anybody. Before I became a truck driver, I was in the cop job, and before that, that's when 𝐥𝐤𝐤 cheated on me, when I was like working inside of the prison system. So after that, I had like these overlying insecurities inside of my head. That's like, I'm ugly, I'm fat, nobody's ever gonna like me. I knew I was funny, but that never helped me in like high school ever since like my first girl died. You know what I'm saying? So I was like stuck inside of a point where I didn't like in high school. It was bad because I didn't take baths like I wanted to. I was depressed like all the time. I didn't like being inside of the house. I tried to like do sports. So like me and talking to women wasn't ever good. So when I got to Hollywood, I expected, okay, what's going to happen is the fact that I have all of these followers, girls are going to be around me. That was not true. The reason is because I never left my house. Never really left my room. What I would do is I would film and then go somewhere else to film, and I would try to talk to other creators, but they already had their followings and people in their DMs all the time. So it was like, you know what I'm saying, this dude ain't really putting in that much pressure. I'm a dip. So it got to the point where I just lessened how I speak to people and just got to the point where I just didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I think the very first girl that I dated once I got back to Hollywood, because remember I left that first time. It was before I even get there. I left for I want to say about 6 months, 6 months. I was in Alabama, and then I flew to Ohio and lived there with my friend Slow-Mo for a good minute. I want to say 3 months. And then from there, I went back on like this trip around America with my cousin. He picked me up in his car, and we pretty much drove around the United States. And then we picked up my first girlfriend on social media. That lady was somebody that I met online, and it was literally an online relationships until we met. And the moment we met, she immediately gave me a hug, packed her stuff, and got into my cousin's car. And then we drove to the Grand Canyon.
And how long was she with you?
She was with me for, I want to say that trip was like 2 weeks of us driving around. What I did was we went to the Grand Canyon, and then like everywhere we stayed, I would get a hotel. But the hotel had to have 2 beds, and one of the rooms would have to, or I would get my cousin his own room. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a girl. So I was like, shoot, you got me messed up. But it got to the point on the trip where we started to communicate more and more and more about her life, and I learned more about her. That was really my biggest problem. I didn't take the time to learn about my significant others. I was just glad to have somebody there.
Okay.
So when I was learning about her, I kind of realized over time, I don't think she likes dudes. She was just trying to please her father, like the whole time. And I was like, it's interesting because every time we would talk, she would be like, my dad did this or my dad did that. And then I would be like the person to help her out, or not save her, but be like, oh, well, you should say this, you should say that. And through times, it got to the point where she came out to me as lesbian. And I was completely devastated. I was like, yo, what? But at the same time, I was like happy for her because she could truly be who she was. We were friends, I want to say, for like another year and a half after that, until her significant other told her she couldn't talk to me anymore.
Wow, that's intense. I did not know that.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh. So, wow, that's like a lot. How did you feel about this person who you've only had an online relationship with, meeting you for the first time and just jumping in your car and like going off with you?
Happy.
Oh, you were happy?
Yeah, I had a girlfriend. I was
so
happy
you didn't
as
care.
shit.
You're just like, yeah, this is normal. Like, just jump on in.
No, I told her to do it. Like, we went and picked her up.
She was obviously she was comfortable with that as well.
Well, yeah, she had like the male people pleaser thing. So like, cause you got to think about it from her point of view too. That's the most wildest shit in the world. You just met this person online, and you're gonna go on a trip with them. You just met them. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I just met her on the flip side. So I was just like a whim. Hey, would you want to do this? And she said yes. And I was like, holy smokes. So it was like having somebody that was there. Like we went to like different mansions in Houston. We were like, bro, it was fun. It was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So what happened next? Who was next?
So I'm not gonna lie. That tore me up, right? And then I went on this like headspace thing of like, oh, you know what I'm saying, every girl that I'm a date is either going to die, cheat on me, or turn gay. So I was like, fuck it. I'm not even going to do this. And then what was it? I started to like work like hella amount of times, and then it got to the point where I was inside of a room and I was in a master bedroom of an apartment complex, and I had a roommate, and I was like, I can't like be alone like this. Like I have money, I have a house. I need a girl. So I looked up to the ceiling and I prayed to God for some coochie. I said, God, please send me like a crumb, just a little bit
coochie
of that
crumb?
punani. Yes, and he did. He did. And this was literally, I would say, the most devastating 4 days of my life.
What? 4 days?
No, she lived with me. So this is what happened.
Okay.
I prayed for the coochie. That same night, we had a phone call from about 9 p.m. to about 6 o'clock the next morning. We were supposed to collab at 3. We didn't collab because I overslept. She hit me up at 7 and said she had a Wiz Khalifa shoot that she was going to go to. And come back to, and she had like a bunch of missed calls. She hit up my roommate. Like literally everybody was like trying to find me. I was sleeping in my room, and I was like, oh dang, I'm sorry I missed it. And she was like, no, it's fine, I can come now. So she came to my house around 8, 9, and I did not have any type of idea of what we were going to do or what was going to happen. So then I just thought of like a quick video idea. We made it, ended up going viral. Same day, I was happy, she was happy, but it went viral on my page, so she wasn't as happy. And that should have been like a, you know what I'm saying?
But you tagged her, right?
Most definitely. Okay. So, this is where things got wild, right? So that night, she tells me she has nowhere to stay, nowhere to go, and she has to drive like an hour and a half back to her place. She would rather sleep at my place. And I'm like, I bet. So I get her pillow, get her blanket, and I lay her out on the sofa because I'm thinking there's no way this chick so fucking beautiful is going to like me or going to want to talk to me. I go lay in my bed. I look up to God, and I'm saying, bro, if you real, do something slick tonight, like please. I woke up to cunnilingus.
What is that?
Her giving me head. No, it was a whole trap. The very next day, we shot a whole shoot day, and it was also her birthday. That night, she slept with my roommate.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Pause.
The very next day, I am full of anxiety, a lot of fear. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I am scared of the fucking world. And honestly, I would say it's mostly my fault she did that because I kind of, what was it? She had asked me to be inside of a threesome with my roommate, and at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, and I was hoping like my roommate would be like, nah, I ain't trying to do that, you know what I'm saying, that's your girl, like, you know what I'm saying, like I was just hoping, I don't know, like I guess that was like I wanted to say no, but I didn't want her to think I was the bad guy. So I wanted him to be the bad guy.
Wow.
But everybody was like into the situation. And I was like,
they were too into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They were a little too into it.
No, don't be into it. No. And I was like, so we was laying in bed and she was like, oh, well, if we're not going to do a threesome, I can just go in there. And I thought she was bullshitting. So I was like, fuck it. Do it. You know what I'm saying? And she did it. And then the next day I legit was like, hey, I know you're staying inside a hotel. You can move inside of my house.
Aww,
yes, you know what I'm saying? So she moved. Exactly. Yeah, I know. I definitely shouldn't have did that. Aww. But I thought it was my fault that everything, which it was. So I was like, let me fix this situation. I told her to do it.
Okay, but it's just common decency and common courtesy and respect. This is an adult woman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she is responsible for her actions, and I feel like she knew what she was doing. So if you offered her, I mean, the roommate didn't offer her anything. She just gave him free coochie for nothing. Like honestly, he didn't offer her anything. Like she came to your house and like you gave her a place to stay. You did content with her, it went viral, which whether she liked it or not, she benefited from that because she was in part of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, the fact that she already put her moves on you, she already chose you. And I always say that.
I was an easy target, honestly. I feel like if you were to look for a mark, I had like a red fucking like.
Well, you're
target
not that
on my
way
face.
Anymore, Jonmosslol.
Yeah, I know.
You're not that way anymore. But my thing is like, she, you know, it's disrespectful to be in someone's house to lead them on the way she did, giving you head, all of that the first night, and the very next night going with your roommate and thinking it's okay, and then asking you for a threesome and all these things. Obviously, boundaries needed to be in place and needed to be better. But also,
I would say this is something that I didn't notice, and we didn't notice like over the course of like time, because she was with me for like another 4 months, and it was bad. Yeah, it was bad. It was not good. But I feel like there was mental illness that was definitely coming from that side. And it's wild because it kind of continued, and low key, high key, her mom, like I met her mom and her mom was just surprised she was with somebody like me. Like she was all the way out of the way. Like this is the most ridiculous thing in the world. And old girl legit had a whole victim mentality. Like she showed me like her ex, all the stuff that she had, the pending cases. Like it was so much that like she told me, and I was like, I want to save you. I was Captain Save-A-Ho. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's not the way to go. Yeah. It is not.
I understand that. I just feel like, because I've struggled with that
saving
a little
hoes.
bit of with saving people. Oh my gosh, I'm the mom of my friend group. I'm always trying to mother somebody, especially mother somebody's son. This is why I have like different higher standards and requirements for who I date, because I cannot become another broke boy's mother. I just can't do that because it's just too much. It takes too much of a toll on me, like spiritually, mentally, physically. It's just too much. It's too much of pulling from like my spirit, my body, and all of that. I can't do that. So I definitely understand.
You
like,
sure though? I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of beautiful body to pull from.
Jonmosslol. You see, this is why. Well, Jonmosslol, honestly, we want different things, right?
Exactly.
We want different things. Okay, that's okay. That's totally fine. So okay.
I'm probably known on social media for being homeless, so I'm like legit. You know what I'm saying? The epitome of the person she doesn't want to be
I
with.
did not slide into his DMs when he was homeless. I slid into his DMs when he has a house in Los Angeles. I'm just saying, like, that's when I slid in the DM. Let's just, for the record.
All right, I'll see you.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, we passed it.
No, because you got to a point where you said she stayed with you for 4 months.
Yes.
What happened after the 4 months?
Oh man, I bought her outfits. Pretty much like paid for trips, paid for dinners, food. Almost every single morning, I would get her an 𝐤𝐤𝐬 bowl, which was like $12, and then I'll be like, I would want one too. You know what I'm saying? To like add that up for like 4 months. Dinner, like literally, I was like, I felt like that was just God being like, hey man, you don't want this. You want a loving relationship, but if you ask for coochie, you can get just that. Like that's what you're supposed to get from here. You're not supposed to get a relationship. You're not supposed to move her inside of your house. You're not supposed to buy all this stuff for you. Like literally, it messed up my workflow because she wouldn't wake up before 12 o'clock. So I would have to like tiptoe around the house. And then, oh my God, she did OF. She did OF. So
OnlyFans?
yes.
OF is OnlyFans.
Oh yeah. So she would like be in the living room while we would have like company over, and they would open the door, and she would be butt ass naked.
Wait,
And,
what? She was doing this in the living room?
In the living room, because it had the best lighting. That was her thing. So we're sitting there like, hell nah, bro. Like my roommate. So I had so much animosity for my roommate because of that situation.
Yeah.
That I just didn't know how to talk to him. I didn't know how to talk to anybody. I was
I mean, were you guys close before you became roommates?
oh yeah,
or?
no, yeah, it was
Okay,
pretty.
so,
It was
so
alright.
you didn't have a private conversation with him, like, I'm not comfortable with this situation, or?
You know, back then I didn't know how to really voice my feelings. You know what I'm saying? So it's like how I'm able to communicate now is different than like years ago. Because it's like if I was mad at you, I just wouldn't say anything. I just wouldn't look at you. Or I would do like a mean face. And then you'll be like, what's going on? But like most of the time I didn't have my glasses. So then I'd be like, oh, bro, I can't even see. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I would bitch out of the mean face too. Like I just didn't want problems. But now it's like it caused more problems because I would hold this animosity without ever talking about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you get her out of your house?
Whoa. So
how did you get her out?
So, oh man. So I started to go around the country, and I learned how to have intercourse really well. Like, no, for real though. I hooked up with a couple of P-stars. I went to New York. I went to Kentucky. I went to Miami.
Corn stars.
Yes. Man, I went to Miami and like all over the place. Learned how to do cunnilingus really, really good. Learned how to like use my fingers, use my hands, touch bodies, use vocal, like moan. Like, hey, man, that was not me moaning. I thought about doing it.
So you were basically an OF star with them.
No, but I learned how to you know what I'm saying, pleasure a woman, because in my head I thought, oh, me getting off was good enough, which is amazing. You know what I'm saying? But let me get you off multiple times. It's a whole different mindset. It's a whole different thing, right? So then I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have intercourse with her one last time, good as hell, for the best of my ability, and then never do it again.
Like dump her.
Mm-hmm.
So you did that.
That's what I didn't dump her, but I was like, yeah. Afterwards, like dead ass, before we even like got done, I pulled out without even finishing. Was like, you know, I don't even want to do this no more. This is ass. Like after she came, like I want to say 4 or 5 times, I was like, yeah, this is just bad. And she was, oh, what? Like you could tell she was like, what are you talking about? Like what? If anybody wants me, you want me. And I was like, nah. I'm gonna go to sleep. And I just turned over and just went to sleep. And she was like, hey, and then the next morning she was like, oh, hey, there's no, nah. I just ignored her. I started to treat her how she treated me.
Yeah. So do you feel like that was like a turning point in having boundaries for future relationships?
Most definitely.
Good.
Oh my gosh. Like when I tell you it was bad, like she legit left my house, started to go to Tinder dates like all the time, called an STD, told a mutual friend that I gave it to her. I got tested. I didn't give it to her. She caught it from somebody else and blamed me. And I'm sitting here like, bitch, you trifling. Yes, that's trifling. That's trifling. But it's just like, it's in the past.
Okay. Well, I mean, thank you for being so detailed and vulnerable with us on the podcast today, John Moss. Because, I appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay, so what's life looking like now? What are you doing nowadays?
So now I'm working on my album. I have my album coming out January 19th on my birthday. When is this podcast going to drop?
Probably around your birthday. Yeah.
Oh, it's just going to be past that? Okay, so January 19th, Quarter Life Crisis.
Wait, you need it to be before or after?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. What platforms? Spotify, Apple Music, and anywhere
platforms.
you can find podcasts.
Yeah, everywhere. So, yeah.
Any more questions?
Yeah, you didn't finish. You have to finish the stories, John Moss.
That's it. I'm like, the story's done.
But, okay, you never once mentioned Quarter Life Crisis.
Okay, yes.
What is that?
Okay. So, Quarter Life Crisis is my album coming out. It is pretty much everything that was going on through all of these different stories. It starts off with a socially awkward person trying to find love, and literally the worst thing that could possibly happen to them happens. He finds it. And then through the story, he learns how to love himself, because that's really the only love that he really needed. Like, he wanted to give so much love, or wanted to get so much love from other people and other places and outside, but he was never really loving himself and caring about himself. So all of these horrible things would happen because he would just try to force someone to love him, or be in a situation where he thinks somebody loves him, and he's like, oh, well, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. But it can't be woe is you all the time. Sometimes it's got to be, whoa, it's me. Yeah. You get what the fuck I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to step it up. But if you're always inside of a negative attitude, or always looking at life like, why does this always happen to me? It's going to keep happening, because that's what you're perpetrating. That's what you're putting out into the universe.
Totally.
So quarter life crisis is me trying to teach people, or not even teach, just show people, hey, this was the crisis that I went through, and this is how I got out of it.
Okay.
And I want people to get out of their crisis as well.
Well, I've personally listened to the album from beginning to end. It's really, really good. I have a few favorite songs that, like, if it was out right now, I would personally put it in my playlist. Because I really like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really
you.
good. So you guys definitely need to check out his music. And because John Moss is so influential and has like a big TikTok following, and internet famous pretty much, he's a TikTok star. Other like people who are wanting to do what you do, who are wanting to like grow a following on TikTok, like what advice do you have for them?
Consistency is everything. Consistency and consistent in what you're doing. So if you always eat something, or you always drive somewhere, or you always do food reviews, or you always do vlogs, make it consistent. Whatever you do, just do it for at least 30 minutes every single day.
What do you think it was that got you to start a momentum of getting a bunch of views and followers and things like that? Like what was it that got you to like a good point?
My personality.
No, I meant like, was it a specific video? Was it a specific topic? Was it a specific thing that you did that made your followers grow substantially in like a short amount of time?
Consistency, like
Okay.
consistently being myself. That's it.
Okay. And how long do you think it took you from like to, from nothing to like where you're at now? You're at how many followers do you have now?
6.9 million.
Right. So like what got you the big chunk of that, I guess?
Nothing. It was just a bunch of videos across the course of years.
Right. So you're basically saying you're building those building blocks every day. It wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just like a viral video, nothing. It was like little bits each and every day.
Each and every day. You know what I'm saying?
How long did it take you?
It took me a good minute. Like, are you talking about from like when I started, or this app specifically?
Oh, I guess when did you start TikTok?
No, so it's not even just TikTok. I started making videos, on YouTube way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? From YouTube, I think I put a couple videos onto MySpace. You know what I'm saying? And then I was on Vine for a hot minute.
Okay.
And then from Vine, I started doing Instagram, and then Instagram back to YouTube, Flipagram back to Instagram.
Did you have a substantial following on any of these platforms before TikTok?
I would say, what is substantial? Because I want to say I had
100,000 followers.
Vine.
You had 100,000 followers on Vine.
I want to say nah. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Near the end of Vine, I think I hit 100,000. Well, no, I want to say 126,000.
Okay, cool. So then you've been doing it for a minute. So for all of you guys wondering, consistency is key. Posting every day and building up a following in that content. I feel like for me, like I definitely in the past have struggled with being consistent, but I've gotten better at it, especially like being out here in LA and seeing so many other content creators like posting every day and like putting a lot of like effort into it. Sometimes it feels like a full-time job or a part-time job depending on what you're doing, but there's nothing that goes around consistency. Like you said, you just have to like have, something to put out there because people want to see your face. It's like having your own little TV show on your corner of the internet. So you're wanting to like post and put that out pretty much. So yeah, that's a good tip, John Moss.
Yes.
Well, I think we covered most of the topics. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Actually, yes. Oh, gosh. And so the other day I was walking down the street and I saw this dude and I was like, man, that guy looks familiar. I didn't know who he was. I was gonna see if you recognized him.
Wait, what? Why would you see if I recognized him?
You might know him.
But like, you never sent me a video or anything.
Oh, good point. Yeah, damn, my fault. That was it.
John Moss is an oddball, okay? Just to let you know. He's odd. But I feel like most artists have their quirks. You definitely have quirks.
Okay. What was it? Would I be able to play some music?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Ah, okay. Let me grab something.
Ooh, is this a sneak peek to the new album? That'd be exciting.
Oh, yes. Sneak peek to the new album.
Yay!
Let's grab this. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, so I got a couple of songs. What genre do you want to be in?
Play my favorite song.
What's your favorite song?
You don't remember? I think it was track 4.
Track 4.
It was the one that you sang the oh. Come on. I tell you about this all the time.
How's it go?
That's how it goes. Oh. When you were on stage and you were performing the song, you like the beat was perfect. The drums were perfect.
Like, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. I should be happy, right? Should feel invincible. Never sleeping alone at night. Should cut them off at the second time.
No, it had a good hook. It had a good melody. Like da 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 da.
Oh, upside down.
Yes, and the upside. Left me in the upside down.
Okay.
Da, 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 da,
It wasn't that good. She
da.
couldn't remember the whole
Left me
thing.
in the upside
She remembers it
down.
now. But I have this thing called the upside down. It's about being inside of a relationship with somebody that cheats on you, and staying. I call that being left inside of the upside down. And I wrote this song with that intention in mind. So here we go. This is a sneak peek for my album. How do I set it up for the mic to be able to hear it? Just put it right in front? I bet. Well, here we go.
Fuck what you put me through. I think I lost ya, cause now there's a monster wearing your face living in my room. Now it's like a hollow. Anywhere you go, I follow. But there'd always be tomorrow. Lying to my face, needed you to stay, but you run away. Look at me now, still blacking out. Baby, you left me in the upside down. Head in the clouds, sticks in the ground. Did you forget me?
Wait till January 19th for my album to come out. But yeah.
Wait, what's the date again?
January 19th. It drops on my birthday.
Yay!
You can pre-save it now by clicking any links inside of any bios on Instagram or TikTok.
Yes, Capricorn. We're so excited for your new music.
Thank you.
Yay. Well, thank you so much, Jonmosslol, for coming on my podcast.
Woo, it was a pleasure.
I'm super excited to hear your new album when it drops, to actually know the words like when I listen to it. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching this episode of Gabby Fe Podcast. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye, y'all.